What's up, YouTube? Olan Tech here, and I want to start today by thanking those who have subscribed to my channel over the past month. We're approaching 100 subscribers. We're right now around 73, so we're almost there, and I appreciate it. It may not seem like a lot of people. It may not seem like a high number, but to me it is. It shows me that there are people who are interested and who do want to watch my content and are subscribing, and it makes me want to make more content. So I appreciate those who have subscribed, and if you haven't, please do. And if you think my videos are really good, share them with your friends. Let them know what I'm doing, and let's reach that 100 before the year's over. So thank you for that. Let's get into the video. So I'm gonna be a bit more serious today. I'm not gonna really do an angry rant because I've done them already. I've done quite a few. If you haven't seen them, they're on my angry tech playlist. It was all about the next gen console release, and this video is just to talk about Black Friday and the release, and also talk about the companies and the consoles themselves. If you didn't know, my rant videos were partially seriously angry and partially joking as a way to not only share with you my frustration, but as also share the frustration of others like me. So let's just go and get into it. Black Friday is pretty much over. You have Cyber Monday tomorrow, but there really isn't much out there to get as far as I can see. But everyone just wants the next gen console. That's what this whole thing has been about. And with Black Friday, most stores had online stock only, and GameStop was pretty much the only one that had in-store stock. And the first of those stores was Best Buy. They had theirs earlier in the week. They did it around like 2 a.m. or something like that. That I completely missed that release. And then I don't know what the situation was with their release. I completely forgot about it. I didn't have the money for it anyway. So I don't know what happened with their release for online on Black Friday, but I do know that on Black Friday, the day of Black Friday, there's Best Buys that had consoles in the back in stock. If you didn't see my last video, please do. It talks about it there. I can even show you the picture again here. The only explanation I got from that was those consoles are getting picked up, but they didn't say by who. They didn't say if it was a carrier or if it was customers. But it makes me wonder, for one, how would it be customers when you sell an item online like the consoles? It doesn't come from stores, it comes from the warehouse. The warehouse would only reach out to the stores if the warehouse doesn't have any. And in this case, I really doubt that the warehouse wouldn't have consoles and they got to reach out to a store that has like 8 PlayStations and a few Xboxes. So I was upset about it. I did an angry rant about it. I felt like Best Buy was just holding them for whatever reason. But it gets worse from there because there was a post an article that was sent to me about a user who had 200 PS5s and he sold them for a profit. So he made like an extra $30,000 on selling all of them. And the problem with that for me is, one, what kind of person at that age, he was 22, so pretty young. What kind of person at that age has so much money to drop on all these consoles? Now, granted, I don't know his situation, his life, or whatever, but I'm 28 and I'm broke as fuck. So it just doesn't make sense that someone would have this much. And for someone that young to be this much of an asshole to scalp 200 consoles, because that's preventing 200 people/families from having this console for the holidays. And I understand the art of buying something limited and trying to make a profit off of it. I've done it a couple of times with smaller items. I've done it with a pair of sneakers. I've done it with like an accessory or whatever. But this is different. This is a really expensive console, and it's meant to help people escape from the terrible year and to bring people together and families together. And you're just screwing people over. So I respect it for some things. I don't respect it for this situation. So on to the next one. Walmart had their Black Friday release Wednesday the 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern. And the problem with what Walmart's release was, when I was on trying to buy it, it told me it was sold out within 2 seconds, literally 2 seconds of me trying to get through it. But then I heard from people, and I got the message from a friend late as well, that if you waited and kept trying, the consoles were in stock at Walmart and you would have been able to get one. It partially falls on me for not continuing to try. Like, I tried for a bit and then I gave up after a little while. But if I waited a bit longer, I probably would have gotten one from Walmart, because there were users who did give up. And the problem that I have with that is that this is kind of like, I guess, their response to an anti-bot measure. But it makes me wonder if you are trying to make steps to stop these bots. Sure, this may be in the right direction to help users get the console. Maybe it's one of those where if you really want it, you got to keep trying for like over an hour. But it's also crappy because you cause users to think it's gone and they just gave up, and now they have to wait even longer. So I do appreciate that they were trying something. It just wasn't the right thing to do. So that's just something they can keep in mind. They're not gonna watch my video anyway, so whatever. GameStop has some issues, okay? GameStop was the only retailer, as far as I know, who had in-store stock, okay? Target, as far as I know, didn't do anything. I don't know what Target did. If you do know what Target did for Black Friday, let me know, but I have no idea. But GameStop had in-store stock, and they had users, obviously, camping out even before Thanksgiving. I checked one of my stores early Thanksgiving morning, and there was already like 3 people camping out. And I spoke to a few GameStops, and I went to a few GameStops, and I saw that they had a lot of people camping out. And they pretty much told me the same thing. They all pretty much got 2 PS5s. One of them got like 3, so that was lucky on their store. And they got like 7 or 8 Xboxes. Now, the first thing I want to bring up here is the store closest to me told me that while they had 3 consoles, they had users on the line calling them trying to find out why they sold out. And that tells me that they weren't aware that each store was only getting like 2 consoles. But it also tells me that when those stores told me they had like 8 Xboxes, why is there more Xboxes available than PlayStations when Microsoft said they're sold out until the spring? Maybe they're sold out after this stock that goes to the stores. But also, what is Microsoft doing to have 8 or so consoles at the stores, but GameStop is only having 2 consoles? Sorry, Sony's only having 2 consoles at the GameStops. It just doesn't make sense to me. But personally, I do feel that it's a higher demand for the PlayStation over the Xbox, simply because there really aren't any exclusives to play on the Xbox, and there are a few exclusives on the PlayStation. Also, I feel that a lot of users throughout the generations, they switch from one console to the other. We got a lot of people who switch from Xbox 360 to PS4. There may be users who switch from Xbox One to PS5 and vice versa. So I do think there should have been more stock of the PlayStation at the store. They either should have matched it, either each console has 2 each or 8 each, whatever, preferably the higher number. So it was weird that they had that. And another thing is GameStop also had a online purchase option for the bundles on Black Friday, but they didn't advertise it to anybody. It was just like a surprise posting. And I tried it again. I couldn't get one, of course. But there is a problem with these bundles, and it's one, the price is the problem. But also, my older brother got one from GameStop. He got a bundle. And they supposed to give him the expensive version of 2K, the Kobe edition. And they didn't send him that. So he paid more money, but what he got was less in terms of value. And it's interesting to see that they advertise this bundle for you to buy, but they don't send you the right material. They don't send you the right items. And I actually heard this term before. It's a highway robbery or whatever. GameStop is robbing you, and or they have hostages. The PlayStations are the hostages of GameStop, and if you want one, you gotta pay the ransom of the bundle price. And even then, you're not getting the full bundle like you're promised. You're missing either an item or you get the wrong item. Another term I heard was my brother got GameStopped, and it happens. But it's crazy to think that they had this surprise posting. They didn't tell anybody. Even the guy at my GameStop told me he didn't even know that was a thing. They had no idea that was happening. And then you're telling me that the bundles they don't come with everything that's promised. You're getting the wrong version. What if someone gets the bundle with Spider-Man and they don't get the ultimate version of the game like they're supposed to? Like my brother supposed to get the Kobe edition of 2K and he didn't get it. So he's basically lost money on the bundle purchase. I was told that he can go to GameStop with his order and they can exchange it for him. I hope so, because that's just wrong. That's just wrong. Now with the consoles themselves, the companies have said, they're sold out till next year. Microsoft said they're sold out of Xboxes till next spring. Sony said they're going to be sold out till who knows when. But the weird thing is, a couple of days after Sony said that, they came out and said, we weren't expecting such a high demand for these consoles, so we're going to have more in December. But how are you not expecting such a high demand? Because they have the statistics to know how many users are on PS4. And they could take that number and say, okay, we need to make this number of consoles to match that number of users. and then maybe make even more to prepare for those who are switching from Xbox One to PS5, because there are people who switch to the other console each generation, and they all have the same excuse. They're all blaming COVID for it. But how are you telling me that you have no supplies to make consoles because of COVID, and then 2 days later you said, "Oh, you know what? Never mind. We're gonna make more before the year's over." It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. And I don't know what Microsoft's plan is for the end of this year. They did say they're out of stock till the spring. For those who do want an Xbox, I hope that they aren't sold out to the spring. I hope that you can get one for Christmas, whether it's for you or for a family. You know, it's crappy that this is happening to the gaming community, but it's happening. Now, that's pretty much all of the Black Friday stuff. There were a few stores that had some online options, but you had to have like an account, like Costco or something like that. So I won't get into those. What I will get into now is which console I think is doing better, as well as which one I think you should purchase. Well, this isn't me trying to sway you into one direction. It's just my opinion. You can let me know in the comments your opinion, what console you want to get, or if you have one, what console you have, and why you chose that one. But I think the PlayStation is kind of winning right now, and the reason why is because throughout the past month after the initial release, there's been more chances to buy the PS5 and not so much to buy the Xbox. And that shows me that Sony was sneakily putting out consoles through GameStop, through Walmart, through their own website. And they were selling some. They didn't give us a number of how much they were selling because they won't. But they were selling some consoles, okay? Xbox wasn't really doing anything. They had a couple of, post-launch releases, but not as much as Sony did. Another thing I think about is when it comes to choosing a console, sure, the Xbox Series X is more powerful than the PlayStation, but exactly how much more powerful is it? And to me, I've seen the PS5 and how it runs. It is still a powerful system. It's not weak at all, so I don't think that. But it also comes down to what games you're going to play. Now, as you know, the Xbox doesn't have any exclusives right now. And PlayStation, they have about 4 exclusives. You have Spider-Man, you have the Sackboy game, you have Demon's Souls, you have Bugsnax, and then you have the Astros game that's pre-installed. But then when you look at next year, about the exclusive next year, you got Halo coming out, you got Forza coming out, but we don't exactly know when. And then for Sony, you have God of War coming out in the near future. You got Horizon Zero Dawn sequel coming out. Somewhere down the road, the Spider-Man sequel, like the actual sequel to Spider-Man. If you're a sports fan, you got MLB The Show that's going to come out. So there are a bit more options to play, or games to play on the PlayStation than the Xbox. So that's where I think the PlayStation is the better option. And when it comes to the controller, the Xbox does have a slightly newer controller, a new D-pad, a couple new buttons, but it's overall pretty much the same thing. The PlayStation has the DualSense, it has those new features. Some may think it's just a gimmick. And when it comes to those features, it does come down to the developers using those features. Now, you may not see those features on the DualSense being used by the third-party games, but you definitely will see it being used by the first-party games. So that's just up to you. If you think if you like that idea of the DualSense and you want to go with that, that's fine. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is when choosing to buy the Xbox, I think it's smarter to go with the Series S over the Series X. And there's a few reasons for that. While the Series S is a bit less powerful than the X, it still runs 4K games. You may not even notice the difference between the two consoles in terms of how they run. Maybe there's a difference in frame rate. I don't know if you care about frame rate. I kind of don't. 30 frames is fine for me. Whatever. But the Series S is cheaper by like $200. And it may have less storage, I believe. And it is, of course, a digital-only console. But Xbox has Game Pass going for them. So it makes no sense to not have Game Pass with the Xbox. Because there's games where I think about buying, and then it comes out on Game Pass. Doom Eternal came out on Game Pass, so I didn't have to buy it. Forza, it came out on Game Pass. I hear Control might come to Game Pass soon. So it makes sense to me, if you're going to go with the Xbox, to go with the Series S only because it's cheaper. It's still a next-gen console. It still plays 4K games. And you have Game Pass to get all those games you can put. And because these consoles can now download really fast, you can download a game, play it. If you need more space, delete a game you already beat in, and you download a new one from Game Pass. And with Black Friday, you have Game Pass deals, 3 months for $30, which is good because 1 month is $15. So you're getting an extra month for the price of 2. And it comes with gold, you can play online. And then those games that aren't on Game Pass, you just buy it digital and play it or whatever. Call of Duty, you want to play on the Xbox, you buy it and whatever. They're gonna be on sale eventually. So I think the Series S is a no-brainer because you have Game Pass and you have the next gen still. And with the Series X, it is more expensive and more powerful. But you gotta weigh in the differences, because you're still gonna use Game Pass anyway. So I think if you're gonna choose the Xbox, you should go with the Series S. And I think if you're gonna choose one of the consoles, me personally, I prefer the PlayStation. It has the new features, it has those great exclusives coming out, and I've always been a Sony guy, so that's just me. Granted, we may not even be able to get a console anytime soon. Sony, we may get one before the year's over. Xbox, unfortunately, we may not see one until next spring, and then may not be until March, April, or May. So we don't know. But this video has been going on long enough, and I appreciate those who stuck around and watched the video. Again, I appreciate those who subscribe to my channel. We're close to 100, so let's reach that 100 count before the year's over. I'm Olan Tech. Thank you for watching. This light is blinding me, so I'll see you guys next time.